All right, so one, thank you all for having me here today. And before I get started, I got to get this feeling like my comfort zone. So one of my favorite things about the NFL was breaking down the huddle before going out to face of an opponent or practice, and we had to get the energy right. When I was with the New York Jets, we used to break it down, and we would do 2 claps and a woo, Ric Flair woo. I'm not trying to hurt your ears today, but y'all about to graduate. This is not the time to be too cool. When I hold my hand up, I want you to get your hands ready. Let's go, let's go. And I'm gonna say, let me get 2 claps in a woo, and I want them to hear us. So let me get 2 claps in a woo. Okay. I think we can do better. Let me get 2 claps in a woo. All right, so stay, let's see how locked in they are. We can still take back degrees if you don't get ready throughout the day. So, all right. So I want to thank Penn, the Wharton School, Dean James, the esteemed faculty, and obviously Wharton Class of 2023 for having me. I got to thank my team, my friends, my family, my wife, my boys, Braylon and Bryson, because as they understand we're all on the podium today, nothing special in life comes without sacrifice. So these types of days don't happen without them. I also have to thank my mother, because as a relatively new parent, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know how hard it was, okay? We go dirty diapers, overtime, no thank yous, it is rough, and so I need to make sure we send a very happy Mother's Day to everyone out here, but then also let's thank your parents and guardians. There you go. There you go. Now, finally, today is really all about you, right? Yes, there are people who supported you, but we all know that you are the ones who have to pull the all-nighters. You have to work hard, rent the GSRs, all of those types of things. You're the ones who have to roll up your sleeves and use ChatGPT to make it through the finish line, right? So with that being said, today you've officially graduated or about to graduate from the Wharton School of Business, one of the most distinguished universities in the world, institutions in the world, and for that, you all deserve 2 claps in a woo. Let me get 2 claps in a woo. All right, we're gonna work on it. All right. 10 years ago, I literally sat about right there in those seats, and I was humbled and excited to finally be graduating from college, but I know I was scared as ever because life was about to get real. And over the past 10 years, I've married me an amazing woman. We've had 2 beautiful kids. I've had 6 surgeries. I've built a few companies. I created and taught a financial education course here with Dr. Brian Peterson. Appreciate you, B. I bought a few houses, sold a few houses, taken a few thousand kids on shopping sprees, fed thousands more when they needed it the most, all while trying to be your favorite quarterback's worst enemy. I stand before you all proud of who I am, but more importantly of who I'm becoming. And so with my time today, I want to speak to that 21-year-old version of myself and give him some free game in the form of some lessons that he doesn't even know he's about to learn yet. But my hope is that the younger version of me and some of you can take at least one thing from this conversation that tremendously changes the way you decide to attack the world as you leave here today. So with that being said, because I'm sure y'all are ready to just get y'all degrees and get this washed NFL player out your faces, let's get on with it. Can I get 2 claps in a woo? All right, let's get it. Lesson 1. Figure out what you want to be remembered for. When I was in high school, I had some amazing coaches who cared about my development as a person, not just as a football player. And every single year, our coaches would make the seniors read aloud to the entire team their epitaph. For those of you who don't know what the epitaph is, it's what you want read or said about you at your funeral. This was a powerful exercise because despite how goofy a lot of us were as seniors in high school, no one talked about the car they drove, the house they lived in, what their spouse looked like, or what their net worth was. Instead, they spoke about what they did for the world, the lessons they taught their children, and what they meant to their community. When it was my turn to do this, it quickly put into perspective what I was actually working for in life, and it refined my vision and helped me identify my North Star. So lesson number 1 is just that simple. Just find your North Star as quickly as possible by figuring out what you actually want to be remembered for. And now, in order to do those things, I'm going to give you a couple more lessons that are a few cheat codes to help you get there. Lesson number 2, get comfortable being uncomfortable and find you some strong running mates. In 2021, it was 2 weeks before my football training camp started with the Atlanta Falcons, and I flew to New Mexico to film a show called Buy My House on Netflix. Now, for those of you who haven't seen that show, just think of Shark Tank, but a real estate version. Instead of people pitching their companies, they came and would pitch their houses. My co-stars were Pamela Liebman, the CEO of the Corcoran Group, Glenn Kelman, the CEO of Redfin, and Denisha Wrightster, the CEO of Mamba Logistics. And then you had me, okay? On day one of shooting, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I thought I was about to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I was looking forward to my big debut. I was gonna show the world how cool I really was. And then they said, action. They said, what do you think, Cope? Can we go to commercial break? It's Netflix, there ain't no commercials, all right? I clammed up and I was so disappointed in myself. I was ashamed. I ate breakfast, so that wasn't an excuse. I didn't have too much caffeine, and it wasn't like I wasn't used to cameras or pressure situations. But on that day, I was dealing with imposter syndrome. How many of you have heard of or dealt with imposter syndrome? Let me see. Oh, damn, okay. You deal with it a lot, okay. After shooting that day, I headed to the gym feeling defeated and embarrassed. I called a couple of friends and I told them what was going on. Cole, are you serious? Do you know who you are? You know you've done this before? And they listed off some things that reminded me of who I was. These friends of mine, without even knowing it, they took a mirror and put it into my face. So what's the point? I want you all to understand right now that there are going to be moments in your life where you feel like you don't belong in this room, or in this chair, or in this role, or with this person, or with this type of responsibility. And yes, there are always going to be some other people who doubt you, but at some of the most pivotal times in your life, the biggest doubter you have to silence is that voice in your head. The quicker you learn to overcome that voice, the better off you'll be. And whenever you hear that voice, recognize that you're on the brink of something special, something that may truly be bigger than yourself. And when it's uncomfortable and it hurts, and it's pushing you to your limits, remember it's called growth. And that's exactly how it's supposed to feel. They call it growing pains for a reason. I'm challenging you all to embrace those growing pains and the discomfort and to lean into them. And typically, if you do and you keep going, you're about to have a breakthrough. And on top of that, and equally as important, you're going to need people who put the mirror in front of your face and remind you of how extraordinary you actually are. It's okay to have different people who serve different purposes. Some people help me grow as a person, some help me grow spiritually, some help me be a better husband or a father, some of them help me work out and get in shape, and they need to step their game up. And at times, some of these folks also show me what not to do. I have business partners that inspire me and mentors that empower me. I've surrounded myself with people who actively help me become the best version of myself. So again, I challenge you all to lean into discomfort and find you some amazing people who keep it real with you, but can also show you the mirror when you can't seem to find it yourself. Let's see who's still with me. Let me get two, no, you gotta wait for my cue. Let me get 2 claps in the woo. All right, let's finish strong here. All right, lesson 3, never, ever, ever, ever play with your potential. I just finished my 2nd season with the Detroit Lions, and I'm driving back from Detroit to New Jersey to start the off season. Now I'm on a 3-lane highway in Ohio, and I'm absolutely killing it on the Bluetooth. I promise you, it's just hit after hit, high note after high note, when all of a sudden my front left wheel hits a patch of ice. Unfortunately, when my wheel hits this ice, I start to do a 360 on the highway. I end up in the middle of the highway, and I see a white van coming my way. Fortunately, my car keeps spinning and sliding out, and I ricochet on the right guardrail into the first lane. The white van goes past me. Whew. I'm just shaking. 18-wheeler comes past me. Whew. My car is shaking, I'm shaking. I look in the rearview mirror. I start yelling and screaming because I'm so excited, because I had no scratches, scrapes, bumps, or bruises. I left my car in Ohio and I got a rental car and went back to New Jersey that same night. Before that crash, to everybody else, I was a go-getter. But in reality, to me, I was just a dream chaser. I was the man that in my mind I would say, I want to start a football camp, but I don't know enough kids. I don't have time for that, I'll do that next year. Or I want to start investing in real estate, but I don't know enough yet. I don't have time for that, I'll do that next year. I want to go on vacation, but I'm in grind mode. I don't have time for that, I'll do that next year. And what that accident showed me is that next year can be taken away from you like this. So, don't play with your potential, because some of us will be so enthralled with the chase and that dream chasing mentality, and that I'm chasing this dream and I'm grinding all day and it's 24/7, no sleep, that they'll realize and fail to realize that if they actually just reach their hand out, they'd be able to catch the dream and move on to the next one. So don't put off the things you want to do and say to a better time, because that time might not ever come. So to young Cope and to all of you, please make me that same promise that you won't play games with your potential. Now, if you're comfortable making me that promise, let me get 2 claps in the woo. All right, perfect. Final thing, final message. Cope, one day you're going to go to Rick Ross's house on a Sunday to speak to him, his family, and his guests about venture capital investing. The next morning, you're going to fly home to your amazing family who love you way more than you could have ever imagined. The same day, the Baltimore Ravens are going to call you and say, hey, we want you to sign with us. You'll tell them yes. They'll ask you to come to Baltimore to sign the next day. You'll tell them no. You say you have to go to the state capital of Pennsylvania to advocate for financial education in the state. And if you knew me when I graduated from these seats, from this school, you would never, ever, ever think that that was possible, right? Fortunately, they'll oblige, and 24 hours later, you'll sign with your hometown team for the second time in the 10th season in the NFL. And that same weekend, you'll go out and sack Mac Jones from the Patriots against your former team to help end the game in front of your wife, your family, your friends, and everybody who grew up watching your hometown team. 1 month later, you'll fly to Vegas to be a special guest expert on a TV show that your friends and family grew up watching. And on the red eye home, you'll be in tears because despite the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, and how many people doubted you, how many times you doubted yourself, you're actively living your wildest dreams. And you'll smile to yourself because despite having so many more things you want to accomplish in this lifetime and so many more people to help, you realize that if you stubbed your toe and bled out the day, you are actively living your North Star. And that is the dream come true. So, to young Cope and whoever's still listening, I want you to ask the world for exactly what you want, regardless of how crazy that it may seem. And then roll up your sleeves and be willing to go get it. I promise you that if you find your North Star, if you get comfortable being uncomfortable, and you never, ever, ever play with your potential, then what you stand for alone will change this world for the better. So, on that note, congratulations to you all. This has been an absolute pleasure. Now let's go out here and attack the world together. Let me get 2 claps in the room. Oh.